The Great Reset is upon us. You better get your house and affairs in order. What's going on, world? Welcome back to T3&Me. It's your man, Tim Ford Jr. here. And today I'm joined with my beautiful wife, Mrs. Siobhan Ford. Karibu, Mrs. Ford.
Shalom, peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings, everybody. Karibu Sana. Welcome back to T3&Me. And without further ado, we're going to jump right into the point here first about why you came here today. So, hey, let's get to it. So, essentially, the Great Reset is an economic recovery plan made by the World Economic Forum.
Or WEF.
Or WEF, yeah. In response to that thing that happened back in 2020 that we had to deal with.
So essentially, the Great Reset is a global redesign initiative which is designed to reshape every fabric of our society.
So some of you might be thinking or feeling like, what's the problem with that? Like, what's the big issue with someone trying to reshape how the globe operates and how they move?
Because it's not like we're in a good state right now.
Yeah.
Like, we need to reshape it, but
with the right
people,
yeah,
right? That's the key.
But so what's the big problem? You want to tell them what the big problem is about this group of individuals actually calling themselves doing this?
Yeah. So, well, the first problem is that this is a group of so-called self-appointed, unelected officials. Nobody knows who these people are.
Self-appointed.
We all know, we've heard of the infamous Klaus Schwab. You know, like, that's like the face of the organization. But who's the other people? No one knows. No one elected them. No one said, hey, we need this. No one said, hey, we want to not eat meat. We want y'all to kill all the cows.
Nobody. So
that we can just eat fake lab-grown meat. No one asked for this. You know, so these people have self-appointed themselves to so-called solve the problems in the world, to reshape the global economy. And they're doing it through many different ways. They're doing it through fear, through control, through different regulations, through, as you mentioned earlier, the thing that happened in 2020 that you can't even say it. If you say it, you can get a strike on your channel. That's how deep the tentacles of the web go.
Even on top of that, there are stories that have come out that they literally hire like economic hitmen to go into different countries and like intimidate leaders in order to force them to go along with the agenda that they have for this whole global scheme that they have going on. Like, you may see some leaders being taken out randomly out of nowhere. It may seem random, but a lot of those people are literally like standing up and like not in agreement with what a lot of these people are trying to say. So they literally send sanctions to that country, or sometimes they may even go and try and murder that individual, mainly because they don't agree with what they are trying to push.
Yes. If you look back at a lot of the different assassinations and coups in these different so-called third world countries, a lot of these things have to do with these countries want to step away from the global hegemony. They want to provide for themselves. They want to promote and put into effect their own currency. They want to govern themselves, and
which is not a problem.
Yeah, which it should be okay, right? This is a group of people. They have their own set of cultural values, their own set of morals. They should be able to govern themselves the way they see fit, as long as they're not bothering anyone. But no, that's not how these people think. They want to have their hand in everything. They want to be able to control everyone. They want to abolish private property.
So they've been able to continue on with this process through releasing so-called infectious agents. And y'all see what's going on now. If you are in the news and paying attention to what's going on at this current moment, there's something else that's going out that's supposedly be able to take people out. Yeah. So these are things that they put in place in order to instill that fear into people in the society, in order to like cleave to what they say is the truth and follow what they say. So basically their tactic and goal is to make the problem and create the solution. Basically, they want to create the problem and create the solution, and the solution not good at all. Basically, it seems like it's good, it's masked as something good, but when you look into the details and when you look into the ultimate goal of what they have in place, it's literally something nefarious that you really don't want no parts of.
Yeah, that's a good point that you brought up. They wrap it in humanitarianism, liberalism, being a global citizen, self-sustainability, sustainable development. They wrap it up in these terms that seem good on the surface, but when you dig down into it, it's like, oh, this is Satan's plan. Like, you know, Satan is not going to come and say, hey, join me in the lake of fire, join me in doing these evil acts. No, he's going to present it as something beautiful and positive and progressive, and he's going to present it in a way that where it looks good on the surface, but you just dig a little bit,
it's not what it's cracked up to be. And that leads to the next point. Their main agenda and objective, and their ultimate vision is for literally everyone to own nothing and be satisfied.
Be happy at that. Not just satisfied, happy.
Man,
They want you to
happy
be
go
happy.
lucky owning nothing.
Yeah.
And to some people that may sound like a good idea, but if you really peel back the layers of what it means not to own anything, to be solely dependent on the government, to be solely dependent on someone to hand you something or give you something, that is not a state that you want to be in.
Yeah, and they went so far as to make a prediction that by 2030, the statement that was made was that you'll own nothing and you'll be happy, and whatever you want, you'll rent it, and they will deliver it by drone. This is out of their own mouths of the spokespeople of this initiative. So 2030 is what, 5 years away, 5 years and some odd months away. You know, so this is not something that's like far off or something that we shouldn't be concerned about. This is something that's going to affect not only our generation, but the generations behind us as well.
Yeah, and we have these different platforms and these different individuals like ourselves and different platforms that's talking about this thing and trying to shine light on what's coming and trying to really prepare people for how to sort of counter this and be in the best position for you and your family. This is not something that we should just take by happenstance. These people are actively working on this every single day. It's an agenda that they've put out since, before we even thought of. So they're trying to they're putting this thing into place and putting this thing into action. So we have to prepare ourselves and put ourselves in position and put ourselves into action every single day. We can't afford to be idle. We can't afford to waste time. And really, it's okay to watch the news and see what they're talking about, but you still have to be building at the same time. You still should be working on something. You shouldn't just sit in fear and say, "Oh God, don't let this work. I pray against it. I'm fasting against it." Yes, that's one thing, but you still have to do your work and build something. The best way to rebel is to build something. The best way to go against is to build your own. So build something for you and yourself and get yourself in position, and these things won't be able to affect you. They only want people that's dependent upon them and not working for themselves and producing something for themselves. So if you have that mindset and if you of that way of moving, they'll respect you and you'll be able to move along and have your stuff in place. But if you're depending on them, they're gonna make sure they have a chokehold on you and have you to bend to the will of whatever that may be. Could be the mark of the beast, could be whatever they want it to be. So you have to prepare yourself so you don't end up subject to what they need you to do or what they want you to do.
Yeah, because by default, if you don't prepare, then you're gonna have to just take whatever comes. Because if a natural disaster comes and they come and they're rounding people up and saying we're taking you for your safety, you can't stay here. You don't have nowhere to go. You don't have nothing prepared to go away to. You're gonna have to go with them because there's not going to be any resources around for you to use because you didn't prepare.
Yeah.
So, one thing about this is that I find like a lot of people in our generation, especially even the generation, like our parents' generation, a lot of that generation has been lulled to sleep because we were born into the system. We're born into the last remnants of the system that we don't realize that this plan has been in place since 1700, 1600, even since Adam and Eve time. This has been a plan that has been in place. So we're here at the last moments of it and we're thinking like, oh, well, we didn't see that much crazy stuff happening or, like, yeah, it looks crazy, but isn't XYZ supposed to happen? No, a lot of this stuff has already taken place already, so we're here at the end of the end. Even when the days of Noah came, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving and wine. They were having a good time. They didn't even know that judgment, that they was about to be wiped off the face of the earth. So this is the same thing that's going on now. People just chilling, going to the club, getting BBLs, going to get their surgeries, like having a good time. Tummy tuck, mommy makeover. They're just living their best lives and no one's concerned about their salvation, about what they're going to do when SHTF, when stuff about to go down, because these people are locked in. These people are connected to a lot of big corporations that control our daily lives, such as Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, IBM, IKEA, Lockheed Martin. The list goes on. We all use Microsoft for our daily work, especially those of us who work online. Apple, if you have an iPhone, Facebook, everybody's on. So it's not like these things are not going to affect us when they're ready to implement the plan fully. These people are already ready and locked and loaded, and these people have tentacles into all facets of our society.
But even though they have their tentacles in everything, there's still some things like we say everything, but it's literally some things that you can still sneak in and get in position right now. But they're coming for that as well. So you have to make sure that you figure out how to put yourself in a good. Since we're here, got to show y'all some of the products real quick. This natural body baby. Natural body. Yeah. Natural product. Natural body. Yeah. Natural body. Yeah. Say. Yeah. Come closer. Come. Mbezi Beachy. We don't like to bring information like this without coming with a solution and a game plan for you to be able to avoid what's coming down the pipeline or what's coming down in the future. One of the main ways that you can avoid being affected by this thing that they have going on is to get you some land and some assets. You have to invest in things that you can hold on to for yourself, that you can put in your name, that you can put in your business name, that you can put in your family name that belongs to you. Some examples of some different assets that people can get is one, you could get vehicles used for delivering small things or big things, 18 wheelers. A lot of times we see these big trucks and things going down the road. The people who are driving those literally do not be the owner. Sometimes, but most times, somebody else owns those things. So if you see things that need to be delivered or you can provide a service, buy a big truck and put that on the road, and you can be able to haul things around and help, especially over here on the continent of Africa, with all of the natural resources that need to be delivered around and hauled around the continent. And natural resources are something that's a hot commodity all around the world, we already know. So if you can put yourself in the industry with one of those vehicles or a few of those vehicles, that's something, that's an asset that can bring you wealth for a long, long time. Another asset people overlook is equipment. You can get different type of equipment that is needed to produce certain jobs around the entire world. Like, for example, cranes at construction sites. People need to use cranes to build big buildings all the time. People need to use certain construction material and equipment in order to build things around the entire world. If you have one of those as an asset, you will be able to actually get funding from people to build their projects. So it's a great opportunity for people to be able to get funds during these times.
Well, another great way to counteract this is, like you mentioned earlier, is to own land, because ultimately they want you to own nothing and be happy. And they're going to be able to do this because when these natural disasters and things start coming and wiping out large areas, and when they start, they've already been tampering with the environment, with the water, the air, the supply chain, the food chains, the animals, the chickens, the cows. They've already been tampering with these things. So when things start crunching down and it gets really, really bad, you don't have any resources and the environment is degraded all around you, you're not going to have any choice but to go into these different camps and these different FEMA camps and these different governmental places that they'll have for you open, and they're going to make you sign over some things. You're going to have to give some things up. You're going to have to get some things injected into you, because this is what is going to be required of you if you want to be a part of their system. And like the scriptures say, give unto Caesar what Caesar's. We can't blame them if we have to go to them for help. And this is what they want. They want you to sign this over. They want you to sign over your property. They want you to get on a universal basic income. They want you to get a CBDC. They want you to get a mark so they can watch where you're going to be. You only can go 15 minutes around a certain area. You know, these are the regulations that they're going to have in place. And the only way you're going to be able to get around that is if you have your own stuff. You know, you have your own little piece of the earth that you control. You know, so it's very, very important to get land. Very important.
Very important. And on top of that, you can also get packaging machines. Like there's ways that you can help in the packaging industry and get machines for those. And buildings, not just land. With your land, you can also put buildings on your land, and that would be an asset that you can use, because people will always need to rent from somewhere. If you have a place where you want to put businesses, you can put businesses in that building, or even homes in that building. And this is another one that I learned on my research that I didn't even think about as an asset, and that is furniture. Like you can purchase some exquisite furniture, not even just exquisite, some nice furniture, and add your price on it for someone to put that in their place. That's an asset. So there are several different ways that you can tap into this thing and invest in assets. And one more I'm gonna hit y'all with, and that's brands. People take for granted this asset, but you can invest in the brand and get a return from their brand as their brand continues to grow. So if you're consuming something all too often, So if you have something that you always into and you like something and you want to help something get pushed forward, invest in that brand, and that will be an asset that will bring you residual income. So there's several different ways that you can do this thing.
Or any investment for that matter.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's not just a brand, if you invest into something, a company or individual that you feel comfortable with, that will also bring you returns.
Yep.
So that leads us into our next segment. We invite you guys to join us this Sunday, September 8th, for our 4th Investors Roundtable.
The purpose of this roundtable is to build generational wealth and safety through investments in agriculture, land, real estate, and tourism. And another goal is for us to pave the way for those who actually want to return over here to the continent of Africa. We will also be discussing tangible pathways to stay in the country long term. As many of you guys know, it's not an easy task or process to come over here to East Africa, Tanzania. Some countries may be different, but over here, it's a process that you really need to have knowledge about and have an understanding on how to navigate in order to stay over here successfully. So we will be also discussing some things on how you can do that long term when you decide to move over here to the continent of Africa. So if you're thinking about investing or even thinking about trying to come over here, make sure you guys join us on September 8th, this Sunday, so we can talk to you about how we can help you guys make some investments into the right assets so that we can build something together. Karibu sana.
Yes. And also a lot of you guys have been asking us about the Eco Village or Diaspora Town. So if you're interested in any of those, this is the time to get in on a conference. We don't know when we're going to do another conference. I think our last conference was last year, like in 2023. We've been extremely busy. We had a lot of stuff going on and a lot of different things going on. Good, mostly good, but some bad.
Yeah. Really.
So definitely get in on it if you're interested in doing any of those things.
Yep. And if you're thinking about coming over here to the continent of Africa, I offer 1-hour consultations. I will sit on the phone with you for 1 hour and answer all the questions that you have in order to help you and your family have a smooth transition over here. So if you're thinking about coming, click the link in the description box so you can sign up and we can schedule a time so that I can help you out, okay? And also, if you're thinking about healing from the inside out, my wife offers all natural herbal consultations for those who are interested. She will sit on the phone with you for 1 hour and answer all the questions that you have in regards to health or any ailment that you've been dealing with for however long. She will be able to help you come up with something to help overcome that. If you're thinking about getting your healing done and healing yourself, click the link in the description box so you can schedule a time with my wife and she can help you out.
Yes. And also be sure to check out our ebooks. We have a Queen Esther ebook for all of our beautiful women to heal our temples and get ourselves right. And we also have a relocation ebook for those who are desiring to move from America to Tanzania.
But lastly, we have a free document for those who are interested in figuring out how to come over here smoothly. It's 14 of the most important things we feel like you should know before you decide to come over here. So, hey, if you want a free document on some free game so that you can come over here smoothly, click the link in the description box and sign up for our newsletter so you can get that too, okay?
I'm going to say one more thing. I forgot. Make sure you get your passports, y'all.
Oh, wow,
Please get y'all passports. If you haven't got your passport yet, run down there on tomorrow or Monday and apply for your passport.
Yeah, fast, quickly.
For everyone in your family, even the babies.
Yeah, get that taken care of fast. But yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for your love. Thank you for the time. We thank you for your attention. We don't take it for granted. We hope we were able to bring you some value and help prepare you for what's about to come. So, hey, keep your mind right. Don't let these people stop you. Keep your shalom peace and stay focused on what the Most High tell you to focus on.
And don't have any fear. Please, this message is a message of preparation, not fear.
Yep. Fear is nothing but false evidence appearing real. So stay focused and do what you need to do. Y'all stay safe.
Peace.
Shalom.